recorded with options at the same time. So meaning to say, all the options can be possible answer. Alright? It's just that we need to pick the one that is mentioned by the recording, or that is or the information that is specifically meant to answer the question. Alright? So let's have B in black, take the question for us. Okay, so we're looking for how much is one return ticket in the morning train. Okay, so if you mentioned all of the options are actually possible answers because they are amounts. We need an amount of money for this question because the question is, what is the cost? Okay, however, there can only be one answer. And if you notice, all of these amounts are also found in the recording. So we have 27 pounds, we have 54 pounds, and we also have 120 pounds. But there's only one correct answer. So what is the right answer? Let's have 10. What's the right answer? 54 pounds, 27 pounds, or 120? We need the cost of one return ticket in the morning. So which one? 54, 120, or 27? Yes. Which one? What is it? 24? 54? 54? 27? 27? Okay, so can you tell me where? Where can we find the correct answer? Can you read which part? Okay, here. And then before that it says here, are there tickets left for the tomorrow morning train? So we have morning train, right? So that's 27 pounds for A. A means one return ticket. So the correct answer is 27 pounds. What about 120? What's 120 pounds, yo? What amount is 120 pounds? That's the cost for open return. Okay, so we don't need this. We need one return ticket. Okay? So for 54 pounds, so 54 pounds would be 2 return tickets. But we only need one return ticket, the cost. So the correct answer is 27 pounds. Questions? Clear? Alright. Next one. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Okay, so this is a given if you're taking the IELTS examination. You're not supposed to rely on what you exactly see from your questions in your questionnaire. So there is a possibility that you might hear information that are not specifically the same or using the same words from your question, but instead they're paraphrased. Alright? So for example, let's have question number 1 here. Let's have Fulin, can you read? Okay, so we're looking for the method as to how these children were selected for the interview. So you're given short sentences as your option. So the first option, can you continue reading? Okay, arbitrarily selected. So the option 2? You read option 2? Okay, handpicked by the professor. Now, okay, so handpicked by the professor, and then the last one. Okay, so they're chosen in a particular pattern. Okay, now, if you're going to find these options in our script, you cannot really find them verbatim. Am I right? So we cannot see these sentences word for word. but they do have, one of them is actually the same in meaning, in the information that you found, that is found in the script. Okay? So I'll give you time. I need you to read the script. Let me know which one is the right answer. I'll give you 30 seconds. Read the script quickly, and then let me know what is the right answer. Okay, so who can tell me what's the right answer? Let's have, right, let's have two. Which one is the right answer? Are you not in Zoom? Are you looking? As soon as you come in, guys, please log into Zoom right away. Okay, so who would like to answer? All right, let's have Megan. The other Megan. Megan is great. Yes. Which one is the right answer? How were they picked? How were they chosen? First, second, or third option? Okay, so they were chosen in a particular pattern. Okay, which part? Where can we find the answer? Okay, they were randomly chosen. So when you say random, it's actually the opposite of particular. They were chosen at random, in no particular order, in no particular pattern. Okay, so this is the opposite with the right answer. So you're left with two. So were they handpicked by the professors? They're not, right? So the correct answer is they were arbitrarily selected. Okay? So we cannot see the word arbitrarily. So instead, it's expressed this way. So they were randomly chosen. So we need to say, even if we do not see this word, so they are expressed in a different way, which is actually also the same. Okay? We have vacant seats here in front. We have vacant seats here in front. Alright? Okay. Next one, number 4. Let's have Antoine. Can you read number 4? Read number 4. Okay, all right. Now, so always remember that the order of the answers will be mentioned according to the order of the questions. Okay. However, for multiple choice questions, the options as to in the recording will not be in order. So in some cases they will be in order, but not all the time. Okay. So now, I need you to read this question. Let's have Luke. Can you read this question, Luke? Okay, so the long corridor is named after the brand. So we need to find out how this corridor is named. Okay, so it's named after what? Or it's named after who? So we have 3 options. So the first one, oriental drawers and bamboo pattern cabinets. Can anyone tell me where we can find them? Let's have Liên. Where can we find oriental drawers and bamboo pattern cabinets? Where can we find it? Find this one. Where is that? Which line? Where can we find this option? Which line? First line, second line, third line, where can we find this? Which line? Fourth line, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Bamboo gathering cabinets. Here. The fifth line, okay? And Oriental bars. Okay, what about Prince Regent? Where can we find Prince Regent? Prince Regent. In the last line, okay. And then, what about 16th century house galleries? Where do we find them? Fourth line, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there you go. So if you notice, the third option is actually found at the first, or let's say, is found first before options 1 and 2. Okay, so this is what it means by the options are not given in the same order. So most of them will still be mentioned in the recording, but the order as to how they're found in the recording is not going to be the same. Okay? So sometimes the order of the options appear the same way as to how they're ordered in the recording, but sometimes they're not, or they don't. Okay? Okay. Next one, number 5. Let's have. Okay, let's have B. Can you read number 5? Okay, so I mentioned this earlier. So there's going to be distractors. So the distractors are options that are actually not correct. Okay? For example, this is a question. Let's have B and green. Can you read the option? Can you read the question? Okay, so we're looking for the time the library closes on Saturday. Okay, so of course, if you notice, all of these options are possible correct answers because this is, or both, all of them are time expressions. So there can only be one answer. Okay, so we have 2 p.m. Do we see 2 p.m.? Yes, we have 2 p.m. here. 3 p.m. Yes, we have 3 p.m. What about 5? We also have 5 p.m. But which one is correct? Which one is the right one? Can they which is the right one? Yes. 2 p.m., 3 p.m., or 5 p.m.? It's 3 p.m. Okay, so can you tell me which one, which part? Okay, so there you go. So 2 p.m. here. So this is very common in the listening examination. So you might be provided with an answer that's actually not the right answer because in a few minutes or in a few seconds, the recording is going to change the right answer. So whatever answer you hear first, so just please be very careful because if the answer is a number, usually the first one mentioned is not actually the right answer. Okay? So at first you might think it's 2 p.m. because that's what the recording says. It closes at 2 p.m. And then after a few seconds, you hear this. Sorry, 3 p.m. So the correct answer is 3 p.m. Okay? So if you initially hear a full answer, yes, you take note of them. But again, you have to listen to the entire recording. Or you have to listen to the entire before you make up your mind. Questions? No questions on this? Okay. All right, so more tips. So next one. Can you read? Options. Again. So remember that there can only be one answer are distractors. And most of the time, all of the options are of the same time. So you have to carefully pick which one is the right answer. The correct answer is a whole number. So most of the time, the whole numbers will look the same. So careful in choosing the right answer. You have to know how these options are different. Okay. I mentioned number 2 earlier, so let's have number 3. Let's have. What's your name? Number 3. Aim. Exactly. All right. So you're not going to match exact words because in the listening examination, you will be hearing paraphrases, synonyms. So meaning to say you have to understand exactly what the speakers are talking about and what is the need of the question. All right. Next one, number 3. Let's have one. Number 4. Okay, so this is actually the challenge in the listening test. So unlike reading, so in the reading examination, you see the script. In the listening examination, you only hear the recording. Okay? So you will have to look for the keywords in the recording. So meaning to say you have to listen carefully. So sometimes these keywords are not the exact words in the recording. So you have to make sure to always pay attention. Do not look away. You always have to look at your screen. So if you happen to find the keywords in the recording, so that means that that is the part of the recording which contain answers. All right? Next one, number 5. Let's have Leanne. Number 5. Can you read number 5, please? Okay, all right. So for number 5, so it says here you have to keep listening. Yes, this is actually true. Because we cannot really tell when exactly the information is going to change. So if there are no changes in information, then that means that you can keep your answer. But if there is a change of information, take note, what is that change? So sometimes the correct answer is the first answer. But most of the time, the correct answer is the last answer. So you have to understand what the speakers are saying for you to decide which one is really the right answer. And then lastly, number 6, let's have Kept. Okay, so it just simply means that you have to look at 2 questions at a time. Do not only focus on one question, look at 2 questions, and then if you start hearing the keywords for the next question, so that would mean that you've already missed the answer for the first question that you're trying to answer. So do not only focus on one question because you will be missing more than one question or one answer. Questions so far? Do we have any questions? Okay, so let's practice, everyone. I need you to get a sheet of paper. Okay, so I'll be giving you 1 minute. Let's try to answer this question. Get a sheet of paper, or if not, open a notepad app. 1 minute, study the questions. Also check the options. And be ready to answer. we good? Okay, everyone, let's start answering.
In part one, street artists led me through Paris and Barcelona. They showed me bold, colourful murals that make political and social statements pro-equality, pro-human rights, anti-capitalism, anti-war. The messages are clear. In Brazil, there is a lot of that kind of street art. In fact, much of it has actually been legalised, but it's nowhere near as widespread. It's a very different, dangerous, illegal style of graffiti tagging that's exploded over the past 30 years across Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. You're not going to see it on TV during the Olympics, but it's part of what we're going to hear about this week.
The first thing that caught my attention was seeing that it wasn't simply like some scribbling on a wall, that actually the letters, they had a harmony or a lack of harmony, or they have a composition, or they had an attitude, or they look almost like the skeletons of cartoons. They took originality seriously.
It's Thursday evening and it's just starting to get dark. I'm right in the centre of Sao Paulo, near Praça República, and I'm approaching a huge group of loud, very enthusiastic people. It must be about 200 to 300. Most of them are young, they're almost all male, they're standing, drinking, talking, passing notebooks around. At the end of the street, I can see about 4 or 5 police cars keeping an eye on things. And if I look up, not just in this street, but in pretty much any street in Sao Paulo, if I look up at the buildings, right up to the top, the buildings are covered. Almost every blank space between the windows, quite often the windows themselves, the doors, the shop signs, they're all painted with thick black writing. I have no idea what it says. I'm told that many of the locals don't know what it's meant to say either. But this group of people here, they know exactly what it says, because they wrote most of it.
The thing about tag is where you place it. The more risk it poses to the artist's life, the more street cred you get.
It's the most high, the most difficult place. Let people imagine how the guy put that tag on that place. You know, this is the magic of Shazam.
Okay, let's answer. All right, so number 1, who would like to answer question 1? What's up, Kat? Letter C. Can you call another person? Okay, Leanne, number 2. Letter B. Next one, call someone. Okay, name. Number 3, can you guess? A, B, or C? Letter B. Okay, call someone, name. Call someone. Call another person. Who would you like to answer next? Yes. Call anyone. All right, Chloe, number 4. A, B, or C? Call another person. Number 5, call someone. Okay. Letter C. Okay, so before we listen again and find out if your answers are correct, let's try to analyze the questions, okay? So the first one, let's have one. Can you read the first question? Okay, all right. Now, what are we looking for question number 1? So we're looking for a type of graffiti. Do you know what is graffiti? What's graffiti, Kian? Okay, very good. So what if you see street art? So that is what we call graffiti. So drawings on the walls. So if you happen to pass by a street with drawings, so or paintings, so that is what we call graffiti. Okay? So we're looking for the most widespread style of graffiti where? In Brazil. So widespread means popular. So what is the most popular or what is the most common style of graffiti in Brazil? Okay, so you have 3 options. What about number 2? Let's have 2. Come to, can you read number 2? Okay, so we have the word because. So we're looking for the reason, or we're looking for how Brazilian graffiti is different. So how is this type of graffiti different from simple scribblings on the wall? Okay, so what's the difference between scribbling on the wall and Brazilian graffiti? So we have 3 options too. Next one, number 3. Let's have Hongan. Read question number 3. Mentions. Except. So when you say except, it means that the 2 options are mentioned in the recording, but there's one that's not mentioned. So what's that one that's not mentioned? Okay? So number 4, let's have you read number 4. Okay, all right. Now, in the recording, there will be groups of people, or the group of people is mentioned in the recording. So it says here that these people know what the graffiti means. What's the reason? Why do they know what the graffiti means? So you have 3 options. Next one. Let's have Catalin. Can you read number 5? Okay, all right. Now, when you say tagging, so it basically means where the graffiti is found on the wall. So it says here, the more risky, the more dangerous is the process of putting the graffiti on the wall. What does the artist get? Okay, so you also have 3 options. All right, so let's listen to the recording and let's find out what are the answers to each question. Do you have any other answers? What are the different answers from the ones that you see from the screen? Do you have another answer? Do you have another answer? Okay, what about B? B in black? Do you have another answer to any of these questions? Number 5, what's your answer? Letter B? Okay. What else? Any other answers? And Lynn, do you have any other answers? Do you have the same answer as to this one? Okay, who else? Any other answers? Okay, so let's answer. Let's listen again to the recording.
In part 1, street artists led me through Paris and Barcelona. They showed me bold, colourful murals that make political and social statements, pro-equality, pro-human rights, anti-capitalism, anti-war. The messages are clear. In Brazil, there is a lot of that kind of street arts. In fact, much of it has actually been legalised, but it's nowhere near as widespread. It's a very different, dangerous, illegal style of graffiti tagging that's exploded over the past 30 years across Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro.
Okay, so Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, they are in Brazil. So what type of graffiti is popular between these 2 cities? So it says
Graffiti tagging that's exploded over the past 30 years across Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. You look at a dangerous, illegal style of graffiti tagging
so there.
that's
So this is the correct answer. So dangerous and illegal type of graffiti. So the correct answer for number 1 is letter C. So the type of graffiti that's popular in these two or in Brazil are actually dangerous and illegal. So that's what number 2.
Loaded over the past 30 years across Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. You're not going to see too many jokes hear about this week.
The first thing that caught my attention was seeing that it wasn't simply like some scribbling on a wall.
It wasn't simply, so according to the speaker, it was not simply a scribbling on the wall. So we need to say it's different from any scribbling. So how is it different?
Letters, they had a harmony or a lack of harmony.
They have lack, or they have harmony or lack of harmony. So we have an option that says it always lacks harmony, which is not correct. Sometimes they lack harmony, sometimes they have harmony. That is why option A is not correct, because of the word always. So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So A is not correct. Okay? Next one.
They have a composition, but they had an attitude, or they look almost like the skeletons of cartoons.
Okay, they almost look as skeletons of cartoons, but not really that. They portray skeletons. Okay, skeletons of cartoons. Okay, but how is it different? So let's listen.
Attitude, but they look almost like the skeletons of cartoons. They took originality seriously.
Okay, so there. So that's the correct answer. All right, so it's different because they take originality seriously. So they don't copy. Okay? Next one, number 3. What did the reporter of Sao Paulo mention, or did not mention, rather?
It's Thursday evening and it's just starting to get dark. I'm right in the...
What did he say? Is it Tuesday? What did the recording say? Was it Tuesday? Read in green? Was it Tuesday? Read. Was it Tuesday? So what day was that? Again, listen everyone.
It's Thursday evening and it's just starting to get dark.
So it's Thursday. So one option says it's Tuesday evening. So obviously the correct answer is actually letter A. It's not Tuesday, it's Thursday. Okay? So let's continue. Did he mention the other two?
Right in the center of Sao Paulo, near Praça da República, and I'm approaching a huge group of loud, very enthusiastic
What is
people.
this?
Must be about 200 to 300. Most of them are young, they're almost all male. They're standing, drinking, talking, passing notebooks around. At the end of the street, we can see about 4 or 5 police cars.
Okay, there are also police cars. So he mentions B and C, but he did not mention option A.
If I look up at the buildings, right up to the top, the buildings are covered. Almost every blank space between the windows, right from the windows themselves, the doors, the shop signs, they're all painted with thick black writing. I have no idea what it says. I'm told that many of the locals don't know what it's meant to say either. But this group of people here, they know exactly what it says.
Okay,
Because they wrote those.
okay, it's letter B, because they're the ones who wrote them. Number 5.
The thing about tag is where you place it. The more risk it poses to the artist's life, the more street cred you get.
Okay, the more street brag you get. So when you say brag, something that you can be proud of. So the more dangerous the graffiti is, where they place them. So the more its artists are respected by other graffiti taggers. So it's letter C. So the more street brag you get, the more respect you get from other graffiti taggers. Okay? So I need you to tell me your score. Stand your score here, guys. So out of 5 points, what is your score? So far I have 0726 Ming, we have Ming An, Kiat, I'll start here, Mon, Tao An, 2, B066, Hong Lee, Chung Hyo, Nguyen. But the rest, Hong Lin, we have Hong Lin. Wow. I'm also online, kindly send your score. Duke, we have Duke. Wow. Ming An. And then. Okay, so there you go. So most of you actually got 3 or 4 so far. Nobody got 5, but you start. Questions? Do you have questions? Okay. All right.
Section 2.
So let's do another one. Okay, so this time, this is section 4. So we will be doing at least 3 sets today. So I'll give you 1 minute. Only 30 questions. I mean, only 3 questions.
Section 4.
All right.
In this section,
Again, keep your phones. Don't Google answers. Let's try to practice because in your exam, Google will not be there for you. Number your paper from 31 to 38. Analyze the questions because the options are basically short phrases, not just 1 or 2 words. Are we good? You ready? Okay, let's start.
you will hear a lecture about study and answer questions 31 to 40. First look at questions 31 to 40. as you listen to the lecture, answer questions 31 to 40.
Can everybody hear me? Is this microphone working? Good. Now, welcome everybody to the second lectures on successful study at college. Yesterday we looked at housekeeping issues, where to find information, how to use the library computer system and so on. Today we're going to cover an issue that will be vitally important to you all throughout your time here at college, and that is time management. Hundreds of books have been written about time management, and those of you who are interested in doing some extra reading on the subject are very welcome to see me after the lecture, as I have a book list here and some other useful materials. Now, time management. In the past, this used to mean making a list to plan for every hour of the week and then try to stick to this plan. These days, however, the whole idea of managing time has changed. In fact, if you think about it, you'll find that it's impossible to manage time. It just goes. So what you really need to manage is yourself. To manage yourself effectively, you need to have a clear idea both of what you want to achieve and how to achieve it. In other words, you need to set goals, and you need to move towards achieving these goals in an efficient and systematic way. Most coursework at the college is set by mid-semester, and at the end of the semester usually involves 2 written assignments of between 1,500 and 3,000 words in length. If you look around you at college, you will see that during the first weeks of the term, everyone looks cheerful and focused, followed by a change around week 6, assignment time, when people start to look a bit stressed. The library reports that an increasing number of students become angry when books are not available. So what's happened? Has everybody become suddenly irritable and angry for no reason? Not quite. The reason is that people have not managed their resources well. They have not set priorities for reaching their goals, and, as a result, some of them realise they are going to do badly with their assignments. This will not be because they lack intelligence or love of the subject. They will fail because they did not have a clear idea of what they have to do and how long it should take them. Let's step back a minute. What do we mean by establishing goals? Well, basically, it means deciding what you want to achieve. In other words, deciding on the results that you want to achieve. The students that I've mentioned found themselves very stressed, mainly because they have an assignment to do. But they did not fully think through the effect that this would have on their day-to-day life. There's an awful lot of spare time in a day. For example, if you manage to spend some of that time, even just 1 hour, on an activity that helps you with your study, that 1 hour could have a major impact in your course, particularly if you make it a regular habit. I'd like to ask you now to have a look at the planners in your information kits. You will see that there are 3. 1 term planner, 1 weekly planner, and 1 daily planner. The term planner is to help you get an overview of everything that you will need to do for the term. The weekly planner is to help you week by week, and the daily planner will help you with the really detailed planning. Before we go any further, I would like you to make a note in your daily planner right now. I want you to picture how you could make a major difference in your life by spending just 1 hour a day on some activities for the next term. Background reading, for example, or preparing a bibliography. Now imagine the benefit at the end of the term. The term diary and the weekly diary are the most important ones. However, a week is really the shortest time you have to establish an overview of your time for planning purposes. Now you need to set priorities for the term. Work out how you could achieve those priorities and the results that you desire. If you can get into the habit of planning like this, you'll soon find that you've actually had more time than before to spend on relaxation and other activities that you enjoy. Now let's share some of the ideas that you've come up with. I'll divide you up into groups to share your ideas. Okay.
That is the end of section 4. You will now...
Before we start, so let's try to, in this kind of multiple choice question, so if you notice that the options are made up of phrases. So this is why it is also important that you highlight keywords among the options as well. Alright, so that you can tell the difference between the options. Okay, for question 31, let's have Liên. Can you read the question? Read the question 31. Okay, all right, thank you. Now, what are the keywords? Okay, lecturer, provide, what else? Interested, and then extra reading, okay? So all you have to do is to spot where these words are in the recording. So normally, whenever you hear the keyword, so that would be the part of the recording that would give you answers. All right, so letter A, B, and C. So what are the keywords too? Yes, keywords also for options. So we have here consultation, sessions, what else? Extra materials, book list. So this one, okay, all right, 3 glasses. All right, what's your answer? Number 31. Letter B. Okay, all right, so let's flag this as Lynn's answer. Okay, next one, number 32. Let's have you. Okay, so time management means, so what are the keywords? Sorry. So past, what else? Time management. Meant, okay, so in the past, right? So, keywords for letter A. Okay, reduce stress. Letter B. Plan. Every hour. Week, okay? Letter C. Own. And then good watch. All right, what about letter D? Set goals and then achieve. Okay, all right, so what is your answer? Question 32. Letter B, okay. Next one, number 33, let's have Kat. Can we read 33? Read 33. Okay, keywords. Today, what else? Wise, time management, and then means. Okay, so keywords for letter A. Keywords for letter A. Set goals, and then work, systematic way, okay? Letter B, no need, because there are only 2 words. What about letter C? Keywords. Set, overview, and then assignment. Okay, what about letter D? Okay, make, and then list, plan, everything, and then stick, and then plan. All right, so what is your answer? Letter A. What about question number 34? Let's have someone. Can you read? Read question 34. In this college, assign. Okay, keywords. College, students, assign. We have more. And each semester. Okay, so the options are short options, so no need for you to highlight the keywords. What's your answer? 34. Letter D. Okay, next one, 35. Let's have one. Can you read? Okay, so what are the keywords? Question 35. Sign. Okay, one sign. What else? Okay, lecturer mentions. Student. So under pressure. Okay. So keywords for letter A. And then missing. Okay. Letter B. Uh-huh. And no reason. Okay, next one. Lower class attendance. Okay. Letter B. Trouble. And library. Okay, what is your answer? Letter B. Students get angry for no reason. Okay. Next one. 36. What's that B in green? Can you read? Okay, what? Okay, I'm sorry, again. Okay, keywords. Or suggestion. What else? Lecturer. Give, and then student. Okay, so keywords, letter A. Okay, very detailed plan. What else? Daily activities. Next one, letter B. Not being so stressed. What else? Uh-huh. Okay, and then assignment. Letter C. Uh-huh. In personal timetables. And then okay, comfortable shoes. Okay, what's your answer? Letter C? Okay. All right, next one, number 36. Let's have someone from online. We actually have one. Who was the online earlier? Do we still have online students? Anyone? We had an online earlier. She's out. Okay, let's have that in. 37. Okay, all right. So what are the keywords? Okay, lecturer, times, and planners. Okay, so this one you don't really have to, so you can just say, you can just highlight weekly, daily, hour. All right. Letter B, yearly, weekly, and daily. Letter C, term, monthly, and weekly. And then the last one, term, weekly, and daily. So what is your answer? Letter D. Okay. Last one, number 38. Let's have someone read. Can you read number 38? Okay, what are the keywords? Important words. Question. Set. Overview. For time. Okay, and then at least. Okay, so there you go. What's your answer? 38. Okay, at least 30. Letter A. Okay, all right, so let's try to check. So what are the answers for each? Any other answers? Maybe you have a different answer. No? You have any other answers? No? You have the same answer as this? Are you sure? You don't have any other answers? Who else? Anyone? Yes? Which number? Number 38. What's your answer? Letter B. One term. Okay. Who else? Who else has a different answer? Yeah. Do you have any other answers? Everything here is the same? Same as your answer? Okay. All right. So let's listen again. Let's try to check which ones are the right answers.
Minute to check. (31 to 40).
Can everybody hear me? Is this microphone working? Good. Now, welcome everybody to the second of these lectures on successful study at college. Yesterday, we looked at housekeeping issues, where to find information, how to use the library computer system, and so on. Today, we're going to cover an issue that will be vitally important to you all throughout your time here at college, and that is time management. Hundreds of books have been written about time management, and those of you who are interested in doing some extra reading on the subject...
So for those of you who are interested in doing extra reading, so that's your clue.
You're very welcome to see me after the lecture, as I have a book list here and some other useful materials.
Okay, so the lecturer will provide book list and other materials. So answer for question 31 is letter B. So this is correct. Next one, number 32. What time management was in the past?
Now, time management. In the past, this used to mean making a list to plan for every hour of the week and then try to stick to this plan. These days,
It's actually letter B. So plan for every hour of the week. So 32's answer is letter B.
however, the whole idea of managing time has changed. In fact, if you think about it, you'll find that it's impossible to manage time. It just goes. So what you really need to manage is yourself. To manage yourself effectively, you need to have a clear idea both of what you want to achieve and how to achieve it. In other words, you need to set goals, and you need to move towards achieving these goals in an efficient and systematic way.
Okay, so there. So
This
that is the
coursework
meaning
at college is
of
set.
time management today. So set goals and work in a systematic way. So 33's answer is letter A. Okay, next one. So what are the students assigned in this college?
By mid-semester, and at the end of the semester usually involves 2 written assignments of between 1,500 and 3,000 words in length.
Okay, so what are they required at the end of each semester? They need to write, you know, A, B, C, or D. So again, listen.
These goals in an efficient and systematic way. Most coursework at the college is set by mid-semester, and at the end of the semester usually involves 2 written assignments of between
2 written assignments between how many words?
1,500 and 3,000 words
3,000
in
words.
length.
So what are they required? Essay. So they are asked to write an essay. So the correct answer for question 34 is actually letter C. Okay, next one. 35.
If you look around you at college, you will see that during the first weeks of the term, everyone looks
So
cheerful and
one sign that the students feel under pressure.
focused, followed by a change around week 6, assignment time, and people start to look a bit stressed. The library reports that an increasing number of students become angry when books are not available. So what's happened? Has everybody become...
So, what do you think? One sign that the students feel under pressure. Is it students get angry for no reason? Is it letter B? It's actually it's letter A. Is it letter A? Is it only library books go missing?
Section
It's actually
4.
letter,
In this section,
it's actually letter D. There's trouble at the library. So what happens to the library? Books go missing, and because of that, students get angry. So yes, students get angry, but there is a reason why they get angry. Library books go missing. So the correct answer is actually letter D. Okay, so there's trouble at the library. So that is one sign that students feel under pressure.
And, as a result, some of them realize they're going to do badly with their assignment for no reason. Not quite. The reason is that people have not managed their resources well. They have not set priorities for reaching their goals, and, as a result, some of them realize they're going to do badly with their assignments. This will not be because they lack intelligence or love of the subject. They will fail because they did not have a clear idea of what they have to do and how long it should take them. Let's step back a minute. What do we mean by establishing goals? Well, basically, it means deciding what you want to achieve. In other words, deciding on the results that you want to achieve. The students that I've mentioned found themselves very stressed, mainly because they have an assignment to do. But they did not fully think through the effect that this would have on their day-to-day life. There's an awful lot of spare time in a day. For example, if you manage to spend some of that time, even just 1 hour, on an activity that helps you with your study, that 1 hour could have a major impact in your course.
Okay, so there. So that is the suggestion of the lecturer. Okay, so to have a regular 1 hour session in their timetable. If they do that, so that will somehow solve their problem. Next one, 37. So what are the types of planner?
If you make it a regular habit. I'd like to ask you now to have a look at the planners in your information kits. You will see that there are 3. 1 term planner, 1 weekly planner, and 1 daily planner.
1 daily.
The
So
term
what
planner
letter?
is to help.
What letter is it, Liên? Letter? Letter D. 1 term, 1 weekly, 1 daily. So letter D. All right, 38.
You get an overview of everything that you will need to do for the term. The weekly planner is to help you week by week, and the daily planner will help you with the really detailed planning. Before we go any further, I would like you to make a note in your daily planner right now. I want you to picture how you could make a major difference in your life by spending just 1 hour a day on some activities for the next term. Background reading, for example, or preparing a bibliography. Now imagine the benefit at the end of the term. The term diary and the weekly diary are the most important ones. However, a week is really the shortest time you have to establish an overview of...
Okay, so shortest means say at least. So 1 week. So let's letter A, not 1 term. So a week is what you need. 4 is the shortest. So for you to establish your overview of your time. So it's letter A. All right, now this one, I need you to send your score. So this should be a total of 8 points. So same drill, you don't have to send it to everyone, send it here. Again, everyone send your score here. Do not send it to C14, okay? Okay, so far I have full Lin, we have 3 Lin, Tao An, we have Kiet, we have B, we have Ming, alright, else. Okay, most of you actually got 6, so not bad. Who else did not send? What's your score going? I don't see your score. People at the back, your score is 1, your score is 1. Okay. We have 2. Also have 2. Okay, so most of you, what about you girls? Can you send your score? Can you answer? So can you send your score? Use your chat. Send your score, so this is a total of 8 points. Again, everyone send your score. Let me check how well you fared, or how you fared. Okay, we also have fun. Okay, everyone, questions? Do you have any questions? Okay, all right, so since there are no more questions, so it's time. We need everyone to keep their phones. No phone should be with you. Put your phones in your bag. prepare pencil or paper, pencil and paper or pen and paper. You can initially write your answer from there. If you cannot open a note, prepare. Okay, let's also check if the recording is playing.
You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions.
Right, this is the link. Okay, check your chat. Let me know if you can open it. Can we open it? Can you open? Is it okay? Are you on the first page? Everyone can open, right? Okay, so let's start. Can you open? You see the question? Okay, so let's start.
This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to part 1. Part 1.
You will hear a conversation between Thomas and Nadia, who are waiting at the airport. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5. Where have you been, Nadia?
Browsing in the bookshop.
What took you so long? You said you were only going to be away 5 minutes.
I was only gone for a quarter of an hour.
Well, it seemed much longer than that. Did you buy anything?
I was tempted to get the latest novel by Dan Brown, but it's quite heavy, and I'd have to carry it around with me. If I could have found a crossword puzzle book, I'd have bought it. But in the end, I was attracted to a front-page article in today's issue of the New York Times.
Is that all you bought then?
Yes, look, why don't you read the business section while I catch up on the news, and then we can swap.
I'd rather have the entertainment section.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
I just thought they might have a review in there of that new play that opened on Broadway yesterday.
The drama about the awfully cruel pirate.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that. I wonder how good it is. Actually, I was thinking of the new comedy, the one about the physician.
Dr. Hunter.
That's the one.
Well, when I was in the bookshop, I overheard a couple talking about it, and they said it was fantastic. Not in the least bit boring. They especially like the actor who played the main part. Very smooth, apparently.
Lots of fun then.
Well, according to those two, they thought it was hilarious.
Ooh, we'll have to make a point of seeing it when we get back.
Definitely.
We didn't have time for breakfast and I'm hungry. Do you fancy a coffee and a muffin?
Sounds like a good idea.
And how will you have your coffee today? Long and black as usual?
I think I might have something different this morning.
What? You don't mean a flat white or some other milky one?
Oh, I don't know. I want something to perk me up.
An espresso, short and black with sugar.
Perfect.
Will that be with a chocolate muffin or a berry muffin?
I'll try to stay off chocolate. The berry sounds healthier.
And I'll have a plain one with butter. Won't be long. Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10. Here you are. Mind the coffee, it's really hot.
Thank you. I'm really ready for this.
Have you thought about what we should see when we get to London?
The tower, of course. I've always wanted to get a look at the crown jewels. That is where they keep the jewels, isn't it?
I think so. And what about the wheel? I hear it's quite extraordinary.
I'm not that keen on the wheel. Do you want to ride on it?
No way.
Well, let's leave it out of the itinerary then.
Okay, so do we do the tower first?
Yes, that's the idea. And then we absolutely have to go to Westminster.
Really?
Yes. Look, it's not going to cost us anything. And I promised my sister I'd take photos there.
Well, if you insist.
I do. Oh, did you know the British Museum is free to the public? Not just residents, but tourists as well.
Well, I did know that, but I was hoping we wouldn't have to spend time in any museums. We've only got 3 days in all. It'll take at least 1 whole day to go through the museum.
Well, let's say we leave it till day 3 and see how you feel then.
Okay, I can't argue with that.
And Buckingham Palace?
I suppose you've promised lots of photos of that as well, have you?
Well, no, not really. But we can't say we've been to London and haven't seen the Queen's Palace.
I guess not. And there's the added benefit that it won't cost anything as well.
Oh, Thomas, it's not that I'm afraid of spending money. It's just that I want to see all the traditional sites first.
Good. I'm glad that's sorted. Listen, I think they just called our flight. That is the end of part 1. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to part 1. Part 2. You will hear a tour guide talking to a group of visitors at a museum. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Welcome to the news.